Elphaba Throp, I know you're out here. Just come in before the monkeys spot you.
With only a few more months to go before Wicked for Good premieres in theaters, fans are chomping at the bit to see what's next for Elphaba and Glinda, the two witches who defied the odds and became fast friends, despite their differences. Before you say anything, I know most of us know how the story ends, given that the film's inspired by the original Broadway production. However, the film franchise has taken plenty of creative liberties, expanding the story and the world of Oz with brand new scenes and extensive character studies, expanding the narrative by 2 hours. With this new content, the story may change or evolve for certain characters, allowing their stories to have different conclusions. One of the characters with the most compelling changes from the stage to film is Glinda, whose decisions now have more nuance far beyond her surface-level self-centeredness. Today's video will be a retrospective about Glinda's journey and how her story may change by the end of Wicked for Good.
You can call me Glinda.
That is your name.
Let's not quarrel.
We should start with everything we know about Glinda so far. The Princess of Pink, Glinda, is the beloved daughter of the Upland family from the Upper Uplands. From the moment she arrives at Shiz, she's the pinnacle of popularity, setting the standard for her fellow students. A privileged young woman with lofty dreams and endless ambition. Glinda wants to be one of the lucky few who study magic and witchcraft beneath the school's headmistress, Madame Morrible. However, Glinda's expectations for the school year are turned upside down when she's paired up with Elphaba Throp as roommates. The two couldn't be more different, and after Elphaba wows Madame Morrible with her magical prowess, Glinda takes it upon herself to make Elphaba's life something to be desired. She then elevates her status by pursuing a relationship with Shiz's new heartthrob, Prince Fiyero Tigalar. The pair believe they're perfect for one another and decide to attend the Ozdust Ballroom together, where their classmates and peers will also participate. Glinda, egged on by her friends, convinces Elphaba to attend the ballroom while wearing a pitch-black witch's hat. The inside joke is that Glinda knows the hat is out of fashion and hideous by their peers' standards, but she wants Elphaba to be ridiculed when she arrives at the ballroom, as the latest cruel prank in their ongoing feud. Unbeknownst to Glinda, Elphaba had given the good word to Madame Morrible, asking her mentor to give Glinda a training wand and include her in the magic program, as she believed her roommate's recent activities were acts of good faith. Glinda, horrified to see Elphaba ridiculed when she helped Glinda's dreams come true, joins Elphaba on the dance floor, turning their estranged dance into something beautiful. Their night at the ballroom kickstarts their friendship, and from that moment on, they're inseparable, with Elphaba becoming popular overnight. Things couldn't be better for the two friends as they continue their studies together.
You are... Seriously, I admire you so...
Enough.
Glinda can learn from Madame Morrible and date the most desirable boy in school. She and Fiyero are the picture-perfect couple, even though things become strained behind closed doors. They maintain their sterling image, but we get glimpses of cracks in the facade, especially after Elphaba and Fiyero save the lion cub. Elphaba encourages Fiyero to challenge everything he knows and stands for, which makes him face how depressed he truly is. Likewise, Fiyero is the first to see past the color of Elphaba's skin and embrace the person underneath, leading to some serious mutual pining. Neither of them wants to hurt Glinda or come clean about their true feelings, so they pretend that nothing has changed. Glinda throws herself into supporting Elphaba and her dreams when her relationship is on the rocks. When Elphaba receives an invitation to meet the wizard in the Emerald City, she invites Glinda along, and the two friends take the train into the Green Metropolis, experiencing various wonders and oddities. It's an experience unlike any other, and Glinda ensures it's worth remembering for Elphaba, as she doesn't overstep or take the limelight once they meet the wizard. She's genuinely excited to see her best friend be appreciated by someone else, and as enthusiastic as the others to witness Elphaba use the Grimoire. The scenes with the wizard show how much Glinda grew in the short months she spent knowing Elphaba. Having a best friend to guide her taught her how to prioritize someone else's feelings, and that it's possible to lift others up while pursuing personal success. She's no longer the selfish starlet we met at the film's start, but an altruistic and kind-hearted best friend. However, when things go awry, Elphaba realizes that the wizard wants to use her powers to harm the animals of Oz further. So she steals the Grimoire and flees. At first, Glinda attempts to flee with her, racing through the castle and dodging arrest from guards and flying monkeys alike.
Chistry, the leader of my Emerald Guards.
Pleased to meet you.
They find themselves in the wizard's tower, but Glinda must decide where her life will lead. when the hot air balloon fails to carry them to safety. She can either give up on her lifelong dreams and abandon everything she's known to help Elphaba, or she can stay behind and remain in her safe bubble of a life. Unlike Elphaba, Glinda isn't ready to leap into the unknown and remains with the wizard. However, she doesn't seem to hold ill will toward her friend for leaving. As we know, Glinda swears her allegiance to the wizard and Madame Morrible, and they turn her into the poster child of Oz, giving her the title of Glinda the Good Witch of the North. She's the complete opposite of Elphaba, and her image is meant to oppose her in every way. It's a clever form of living propaganda, and Glinda feeds into it, something we see at the start of Wicked as she attends the Munchkin's celebration of Elphaba's death. Glinda staying with the wizard feels like her character arc regressed, forcing her to take 2 steps back. I assume she made this decision because it was the safe option. And because Oz is a society that praises conformity, she didn't feel comfortable ostracizing herself from society. Whereas for Elphaba, the decision was made easy by her lifelong struggle to fit in. In the trailer for Wicked for Good, we get glimpses of Glinda later in life, when she's operating as Glinda the Good Witch. She's a public figure and someone her fellow Ozians look to for guidance. She's still Miss Popular even in adulthood, and because of this, she has to keep a cool head and make calculated decisions. One of the scenes we see is her wedding to Fiyero, which seems obvious, even if they aren't in love anymore. But it only makes sense for the most beloved witch in Oz to marry a prince. However, I have a sneaking suspicion that Glinda will get everything she's always wanted and be miserable.
Elsie, where are you going? Elsie, what are you doing? Oh!
All of her relationships will be surface level, her public image as fragile as glass, and her magic dependent on the training wand she received at Shiz. Although we know that Glinda remains the good witch after Elphaba's death, the canon end of the story, it would be interesting if the film delved into her personal experiences during this transitional time in her life. With more screen time to dedicate to new scenes and character arcs, I would love to see Glinda's relationships fail, her mentorship with Madame Morrible yield little results, and her to feel unfulfilled by her ballroom's worth of friends, who only know her by her name. A significant turning point for her character could be the realization that she's never been happier, more understood, or truly appreciated than when she attended Shiz with Elphaba, and she might seek out her old friend to rekindle that relationship once more. Like Fiyero, who also went against the wizard's wishes to help Elphaba, Glinda might sneak away from her new allies and use insider information to help Elphaba evade capture. By the end of the Broadway musical, Elphaba thrusts the Grimoire to Glinda, and this canon event can still occur. Perhaps it's why Glinda maintains her identity as the Good Witch, as doing so would put her in a position of power and allow her to protect the Grimoire and the rest of Oz with the wizard's resources. The narrative would then come full circle if the film ends where it started, in the Munchkin Village, where Glinda finishes her story about Elphaba Throp and how she became known as the Wicked Witch. The people of Oz will realize that the wizard conned them and that things aren't always how they appear. Glinda might teach her fellow Ozians that they shouldn't judge a book by its cover, the same lesson that Elphaba taught her during their earliest days at Shiz.
This is so much bigger than us. Why can you stay calm for once, instead of flying off the handle?
I love that the film adaptation has allowed these timeless and beloved characters to evolve beyond their initial characterization. In a format like Broadway productions, which are constrained to the stage and have stories told through song, it can be challenging to give every character an in-depth storyline that explores their inner conflicts, moral dilemmas, and personal growth. In Glinda's case, she maintains her title as Glinda the Good Witch, despite the poor decisions she made in her youth. But Wicked for Good has the opportunity to put an interesting spin on this conclusion. How do you feel about Glinda's story? Do you think it's lacking something? Or do you believe the Broadway production painted the perfect portrayal? Let us know in the comments below.
And why do you seek me?
Ellie, say something.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
Speaking of Fiyero, where is he? Not that I expected him to come and say goodbye, but I mean, we barely know each other.